Weymouth Director of Football, Paul Maitland, here in the off-season. Paul, busy night here at the Bob Lucas Stadium. Lots going on. Just sum up how things are going as we move towards pre-season.
Yeah, so we're 7 days out from the proper start of training. We're in Friday night for testing with the boys, with Ben, the new physio, and then next Tuesday the real hard work starts. You're right, it's been a busy night again tonight. 2 more players have signed today for the coming season, so keep your eyes peeled for those. They'll be put out probably sometime next week once we have confirmation from the FA that all the paperwork's gone through accordingly. That's how we like to do it. That's why there's probably a little bit of frustration over the lack of release on signings over the last couple of weeks. But say we don't put anything out until it's clarified, because players can have the habit of changing their minds last minute. So we like to make sure we've got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed before we make things public. That's just how we've always done our business. You know, it's a bit different from last year. Last year, obviously, we kept 95% of the squad, and obviously had that done very early. So this year's been a really interesting, a real steep learning curve for Mark and I. We had very clear ideas of the sort of players that we were looking for coming into the summer period. Obviously we moved a few players on and needed to find adequate replacements for them. But as we've done, this is our 3rd year now of bringing players into the club, we have a set budget that we adhere to, we stick to. We haven't asked for any more money and it's been set. And it's a reasonable budget for us, but it has meant that we've had to work it to the best of our ability. I'm pleased to say that I think now tonight we come in at 18 players signed, and financially we are within budget, which I think is really important, because we've said all the way along that we wouldn't do anything to put the club at risk. So that's important as well. So we go into the season on an even keel. There's been 1 or 2 players that we've spoken to that we did have on our list, but we've learnt very quickly that it's a whole new ball game now, and I think people think because we've been promoted and the rumours that used to float around last year of what was being spent, they think we're carrying around a pot of gold in the back of the car when we go to see them. And we sign players on more than money. It's about whether they're going to fit into our regime, and it's whether they want to come and work hard and buy into our philosophy. So the minute some of the figures get thrown away is when we've been up and walked away. It's been silly season this summer as well. It's I'd say the last 2 years people seem to have been fairly sensible. Some of the players that we spoke to, particularly just after the season finished, were asking astronomical money that quite frankly they weren't worth and we weren't prepared to pay. So we moved on from those. We're happy with the squad that we've got. There will be work to do, obviously. With Brandon leaving, we now need to look at maybe how we play and how we do things. It might be that we play in a slightly different way, or we set up slightly differently. As for Brandon, that's a brilliant move for him. One that we sort of expected to have come. I think we probably thought after year 1 at Christmas time it would be we would be lucky to keep him for the 2nd year. We did keep him for the 2nd year. Contrary to rumour and other bits and pieces I've seen, Brandon was offered 3 new contracts over the course of last season, and obviously, like most good agents, his advice was not to sign them. I can't blame him for that, and I can categorically say we actually didn't receive one serious offer for him in the 2-year period.
Yeah.
I think possibly clubs wouldn't have been perhaps prepared to take a risk on him if they'd had to pay a fee. That's can only be my assumption, because it can't be through lack of ability on the pitch, because he's proven that for 2 years to be consistent. I really hope that he goes on and does well for Southend, and that he moves, maybe gets another move as well on top of that. But it's just reward for him. It proves that our way works as well for us. So there's some justification for us in the way that we do things, in the way that we treat our players, and the way that the club treat the players. That if you buy into our philosophy and our ways, that we will hopefully get you back to where you want to go. So it's pure coincidence again that the Southend are coming for the friendly. Again, I know a lot of people think that was linked to the two. It's not. Kevin Bond, the Southend manager, and obviously Mark have an affiliation through Bournemouth in the past, and Southend down in Exeter, I think, or Devon,
training camp.
On a training camp for 5 days, and we're on the way up for them. So they were looking for a game, and I think they're playing a game on the way back against someone else.
And also, Paul, with that game, it gives the Weymouth supporters a chance to say their goodbyes to Brandon, wish him all the best in his new League One team.
Absolutely. I mean, I spoke to Brandon a fair amount since the season's finished for obvious reasons, and I know he would have stayed had it not been a league club. He made that quite clear. His agent made that quite clear. It genuinely, in Brandon's case, wasn't about the money. It was about the opportunity for redemption after what happened with him at Yeovil, where I think he felt that he wasn't given a fair crack. So it was all about the looking for another chance to go and prove himself, and that's what we said when he came through the door, that we would do everything we could to try and get back to where he wanted to be.
And do you feel, yourself, Mark, and the guys, do you feel a sense of pride that you played a part in Brandon getting back to that level? I mean, his 2 seasons at Weymouth have been nothing short of phenomenal.
Yeah, I think there is a satisfaction there. There's a disappointment as well as losing him. You never want to lose your top goal scorer, but it's easy to accept when he's jumped 3 leagues, 4 leagues from last year.
Yeah.
So that makes it easy to accept. Yes, there's it's good for us that we've been able to help him with that, but it's primarily down to his attitude, his hard work, and temperament, that he hadn't given up his dream. Which would have been easy, because coming up to 24, nearly 25, it's a crossroads for him. And I know, again, from discussions with him, I know that's a little bit how he felt. It was probably now or never for Brandon. If he didn't make the move now, would it come again? And he's obviously, fortunately for him and unfortunately for us, it has happened. But you're right that it will be an opportunity for the fans to say their goodbyes and their thank yous. I think it'd probably also be the night he picks up his Golden Boot award from last season. From
our friend, new vice president.
From our new Southern League president, or whatever he calls himself now. So that'd be a nice send off for Brandon. But it's an important game for us as well as we build towards life in the National South.
Just finally, you touched on it a couple of times about things that have been said. I know you don't really ever like to do this and make comments on other people, but as always, it seems with Weymouth, there's been comments branded about needing money for this, doing money for that. What do you say to them sort of people that continue to knock?
Listen, it's non-league football, and actually at every level of football, there were people that will always look for a negative. I get it and I understand it with this football club because of its past.
And you've been here long enough to know
what absolutely. It's all about. And it's really important that we don't stand still on winning the league last year, and we don't just stand still and just be happy with. I think Tom touched on it with Aidan a couple of days ago in the Echo, that we're not going into the National South to make up numbers, but we're also not going to go in there and bankrupt the football club to do it, because otherwise we've just wasted 2 years of hard work. So I understand where people are coming from. Like I said earlier, that the budget has been set. It's thought out. Simon, until obviously that the finance director has put it together. It's And I wouldn't ever offer a deal to a player that I knew we wouldn't be able to pay over 40 weeks, because I wouldn't be able to live live with myself if I did that. That's not who I am or what I am. So I would want to know that every player that comes through the door gets paid on time and the full amount. Having been a player and been told at January that, sorry, there's no more money, I know how that feels. And not that it's ever a significant amount, but obviously players at this level now, the amounts are slightly more significant and they can have an effect on their lives, so you have to be sure that you can pay those. You see it year after year, someone always struggles or has a problem, and it's not a situation that I would want us to be in, and I don't think that we are or anywhere near that. So there's always plans and things in place that if we need to, that we can adjust, but it would be lovely to have a limitless budget. It'd be lovely to be able to completely rejuvenate the place and money being our object. It's not. It's a fans-run club, which makes it a bit the fans club. It's a community club. It's we're trying to build all those things off the pitch as well. So whilst I can understand why people would possibly question, and again, because there wasn't a fee for Brandon. That may look strange from the outside, but say you can't get a player to sign a new deal if they don't want to sign one. Same with any player. So you take the rough with the smooth.
And also, his goals ultimately made a huge difference in us getting over the line. Say he left in January for said fee.
I think the important thing is, Josh, though, that's all hypothetical, because we'd have had to have received an offer in January for that to happen.
Which didn't happen.
Which never materialised. I think I had one phone call where we were offered a derisory amount for Brandon in year one, from a team very north of the country, and only at the same level. Just, I think, probably testing the water. So there wasn't anybody to sell him to as such, and I think, again, probably because of his age and maybe a slight arrogance of the Football League clubs that would look at him and say, well, okay, it's Southern League football. What, could he do it at league level? Well, we'll find out in a few months.
We will. Paul, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you soon. Pre-season, as you say, just around the corner.
Yeah, can't wait.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers.